Bryce Mbeseha is with us tonight. And he was with us when we initially brought up the issue of Juliet and the issue of innocence. Two young people losing their lives in the face of danger, in the face of a senseless war, in a community where they were born and brought up. A very sad one. Bryce Mbeseha, I'm sure you can remember vividly how these two reports began here on Undaunted.
Well, thank you once more. We've had the opportunity to deal with the two incidents. The incident of the girl or the lady in Gwen and the guy in Tiko. The two have lost their lives, but they've lost their lives in two different circumstances. They're identifiable. Let us deal with the Bamenda incident first. The implantation of explosive devices, whatever was planted there, a bomb and explosive device, that turned out to kill this lady. We believe, as Ambazonians, we believe very strongly that that act was done by the agents of the Republic of Cameroon with the sole purpose of bringing the world to believe that Ambazonian fighters, what they call Amba, did it. We don't believe that version of the story. We believe they did it. And if they didn't do it, they have another responsibility. It is bottom line, there's insecurity there. It is the responsibility of the government to prevent crime, to control crime, to arrest criminals, and to punish them. That's their responsibility. So while everything happened in Bamenda that led to the death of that lady, government is fully responsible. Either because they planted the bomb and thought that the nail would kill, but they thought that the consequences would be borne by Ambazonian fighters. Or two, they are responsible for, as a government, to bring the perpetrators to justice, investigate, catch the criminals, put them on trial, and have them go to jail. They have the courts, they have all these things within their own control. If they are not doing anything, or they have refused to do it, or for whatever reason they have not done it, they are signs of a failed government. The government has failed. And if the government fails as an institution, what do we do? We try to replace it. But since the whole government is failing us, what do? We say we can no longer be part of that nonsense. Because there can be government, there can be no government without responsibility. If you're a government, you must assume responsibility that go with government. And so, because they acted it, because they planted the bombs, they will not prosecute themselves. That's our own interpretation. That's why it is more likely than not that the perpetrators of what happened in Quen would ever be punished. But they are failed because the consequences, the belief generally in Amazonia, is that it is the government that is responsible. The agents are responsible for this. So that is that from Quen. When you go to Chico, they say it's a different circumstance. They claim the Momo guy who operates his Momo phone to sell money and get some profit was killed, apparently by thieves, by murderers, by gangsters. Again, that is not allowed. Good enough, if the story is true, they're able to catch at least one of the perpetrators. The next action is we expect to see a trial, a fair trial, and a proper conviction for justice to be done to the dead person. It should not be like most cases that are happening in Cameroon, call it like that, including Ambazonia today. They arrest a thief today. The next day is in the streets. There's no accountability. It is still the failure of government. For the magistrates that set those who free are government appointed magistrates. The state councils that investigate those crimes are magistrates appointed by Yaoundé. They are the colonial masters or agents. So their failure individually becomes a collective failure of the system, which was said, we don't have to go through this. Because if we look back at the time we had West Cameroon, British Southern Cameroon, there was justice. Those things did not occur. And if they did occur, we were sure justice will be done. They were properly investigated, properly tried, and people were sentenced to whatever was their due. And so that is so far the case of Gwen and Chico. Collective responsibility of government, collective failure of the same government to protect the people over which they are supposed to rule. I had the opportunity to say here last week or last week before that Tiko is part of FACO. From Tiko to Victoria is just 15 kilometers. There are about 3, 4, 5 state councils in Tiko. There are so many police stations. In fact, the whole police school in Cameroon is lodged in Tiko. It's just there. So they don't like the police forces to do that. If they want their B, because their B have become everything, they're just 15 kilometers to Victoria, in Mano Wobe. You can go and get them there. If they want the whole judicial system to descend in the whole so-called Southwest, they are based in Boya, in the regional headquarters, 15 kilometers away. So they don't lack the ability to, they lack the will to prosecute the criminals, apparently, because they want to punish ambassadors. So over to you.
Oh, well, about that, it's indeed a sad one, and it shows the fact that the insecurity in Ambazonia is at a heightening level.